If you're a man over 40 watching this right now and you're fed up of feeling embarrassed about how you look, and you're also feeling a bit hopeless that kind of everything is going to be all downhill from here and you're never going to be able to get into the shape that you want to get into, I'm about to completely blow that belief out of the water by taking you through the process that Richard went through in just 16 weeks, where he went from this to this. He dropped from 25% body fat to sub 10% in 16 weeks and got into the best shape of his life. This is a man who'd already been through many different coaching processes, but none of them worked because they weren't personalized to what he needed. Therefore, when he tried them, he just never saw the results that he really felt like he deserved from the effort and time that he was putting in. The reason why he decided to come on board with Alpha 21 was because sadly his brother passed away due to health conditions, and this was the kind of springboard he needed to really take his health serious. So when he came on board with us, this kind of physique side of things was a side thought. The most important thing for him was to get healthy so he was around for his kids and so he could help inspire others, which was a big part of his process. He didn't just want to get in shape for the sake of getting in shape. He wanted to come on board, he wanted to learn how to be truly healthy, he wanted to lead by example, and he wanted to set a framework in place for everyone around him, his family, his kids, and everyone he kind of interacted with on a day-to-day basis. Never in a million years did he think that he would go from this to this in 16 weeks. Prior to the program, his biggest challenge, as previously mentioned, was that he just didn't know what he needed to do for his specific body. So he would do all of the different diets, he'd done various different training approaches, he'd done hybrid training, CrossFit, he'd done group exercise classes, he'd done your OMAD diets, he'd done your intermittent fasting, and none of it really provided the long-term sustainable change that he was after, and his body just never really changed from this. And the thing that really drew him into working with us was the diagnostic mapping, the 7 to 10 day phase of understanding his blood work, his biology, his symptoms, and piecing everything together into a formula that was built for him on a biological level. And this really was the catalyst for getting the results that you can see here with Richard, because it allowed us to identify 3 underlying issues that were holding him back from getting results. The first issue was that he had low testosterone, so we needed to put a process in place to get this functioning optimally. That meant sleeping 7 to 9 hours. It meant supporting liver function, supporting his nervous system, supporting his gut health, and making sure he was getting the right nutrients in place, including creatine, zinc, magnesium, and also vitamin D. The second thing we needed to address was his cortisol levels and overall stress burden. We needed to again make sure he was sleeping well enough to recover properly. We needed to make sure again he was taking things like L-theanine, ashwagandha, magnesium, all things that would help him regulate his nervous system and sleep better and bring down this overall cortisol level that was affecting the results he was seeing. And finally, we also needed to support his metabolic function and control his insulin levels, because these were elevated, affecting his ability to mobilize fat and his ability to burn fat. With this, we needed to start him off on a higher volume training program with specific forms of cardio to help him improve his metabolic flexibility. We also included certain supplements like berberine, magnesium again, and chromium to help support metabolic function. For the first 6 to 8 weeks, we kept him on a lower carbohydrate diet while we restored his metabolic function. Once this was addressed, we could then increase his carbohydrate consumption and improve performance in the gym by fueling up pre and post workout. Once we'd addressed these 3 underlying issues, the results came thick and fast. Not only did he feel 10 times better, more energy, more motivation, more mental clarity, also the results were coming thicker and faster too, which again just fueled his entire enthusiasm around the process. Within just 16 weeks following this protocol, he was able to drop 22 kilos, which is incredible considering all of the years previous he was not making a dent in his fat loss goals. And as mentioned, the fat loss, the physique, and the visual side of things was really just a side thought for Richard prior to coming on board. Here's what he said about his own process.
This is the big problem here. I didn't have the foundation of where I was going, so I wanted to get from A to B, but I didn't really.
There's no structure.
No structure. I could not believe it. I was like, maggot. The biggest wins for me, obviously, have a great physique is brilliant, but that isn't it for me. It's inspiring and motivating others to be able to do what I've done, to look after the health. When my brother passed, it really ignites something inside me at soul level to say, I need to change my ways. I need to change my lifestyle to impact other people, because if I can't do it, who's going to do it? And the coach was brilliant.
From speaking with Richard directly at the latest Alpha 21 event, I can see that the transformation is far more than just the physical pictures you can see here. He's a totally different person. He's optimized his internal health, he's built muscle tissue, he's burnt fat, he's mentally clearer, he's more positive, and he's likely added 10 to 15 years of quality life onto the end of his life. Richard said in his own words that he found it a beautiful experience. He said that the three biggest things that led to him getting results were the clarity provided from the diagnostics run at the start, so he knew exactly what he was doing and he knew that it was built for him as an individual. He also said the accountability from his coach was absolutely invaluable in the process in helping to understand why he was doing everything and holding him accountable to doing the day-to-day actions. And finally, the third thing was having a strong why. He really wanted to do this not just for himself, but to inspire others to live happier and healthier lives too, and he's certainly done that. So if you're watching this right now thinking that it's all downhill, thinking you can't build muscle, you can't get in shape, you can't feel your best because you're past 40, you're past 50, or you're past 60, then Richard's story at the age of 51 should completely blow that out of the water and prove to you that age is just a number. And listen, if you want to have a conversation about how we can implement this process with you and get a similar result, then simply check the link in the description, watch the video on our blood optimization system, and if it makes sense, book yourself in for a health optimization audit call, and we'll see you on the inside.